All right, maybe third time will be the charm, guys. Son of a, you know what? Hey, everybody, this is a live hangout on the Rosie O'Kelly channel, May 11th, 2016, and welcome to a little slice of hell in here in terms of trying to get this hangout up on the air today. Unfortunately, hey, Mo Free, there we go. I think we're gone now. Let's see. Yep. All right. Well, this will be the trick. And thanks everybody. And I apologize for those of you who were booted off here. And this is the 1960 Motorola. Hi, Teddy. There's the unit there. And it's been about coming into almost 2 months of doing the restoration. And a lot of people have assumed because you don't. Let me see if this dropped out or not. Let me see. No, we're still going. We're still going live, so we're good here on this. Yeah, this dropped out. A lot of people assume that because you do a video, things look very compressed in time, and it appears that these things are done in a day or two. But in reality, these are long-term processes because they require the purchase of different components, none of which are shelf ready. We have no electronics component stores left here. The Radio Shacks have closed down or converted to cell phone stores, which are useless to me in terms of rebuilding and things. So everything that you do, hi Charlie, yeah, we're back for so lucky the third time. Charlie, hi Charlie, sorry about that. Our being after 10, a little bit of problems here with that today. So I'll just stand, okay, so you can get an idea of the unit there. So if a tube was bad, I had to order a tube. There's another week or so. If another part had to be replaced, there was another week. So it takes time. It also takes time. Thanks, Tess. It also takes time to, hi, Auntie. It also takes time to do the actual restoration, the diagnosis. If you remember the guy that I bought this from the young gentleman, here right in town about a mile away, he admitted that he ran his guitar through the unit as an amplifier and basically destroyed the amp section, which had to be rebuilt. And the tuner dial string cord was off, so you could turn the dial, but the tuning indicator didn't move. There were just massive problems with this unit, but this is a very valuable unit. I mean, so you don't mind tackling things if it's a $500, $800 unit and you pick it up for $100 because it needs work. Well, then it's kind of worth it to you. And I don't buy it for the monetary value. I buy it because it's cool. Hi, Stacy. I buy it because it's a cool unit. So the last issue I really had here had to do with the record player. I kind of kept my fingers crossed. It was the last thing that I really did besides trying to eradicate the water stain on the wood, which we'll be getting to in a little bit. And of course, for those of you also, you know, at 4 p.m. on Wednesdays Pacific time, I do the regular 8-hour hangout. So this is just a short one to see if we can get this record player working again. I sent it off to a Voice of Music, former engineer in Dearborn Heights, Michigan. 1 week to get it up there, 1 week for him to work on it, and do the rebuilding and restoration, and 1 week back. The total cost with shipping and everything was about $200. Now you might say that's expensive, but you know, you have somebody that's a real specialist working on this. I mean, I could have taken a course. You can't even take a course anymore. I could have apprenticed myself to somebody 6 months and maybe learned enough to do a decent job. Or you could just send it off to a recognized expert, which I did. Very good, Teddy. Glad to hear that. Teddy says, I followed your instructions into service my Marantz, and now it works a treat. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Teddy. Hi, Drew. Nice to see you. And again, I'm sorry for the people that get bounced out. Now, let's carefully get this undone. This is a fragile unit here. It's metal, but I don't want to unnecessarily jostle it, knock it around. It's a very handsome unit, and for those of you that don't know, Voice of Music was a major company headquartered in Benton Harbor, the same place that Heathkit Electronics was located. For those of you who know that name, and they provided the record players for, well, Motorola, for a lot of different, everybody except RCA. I think they built their own. They were a major supplier, and they would they would brand the company's name on it like Motorola, and I'll show you that in a second. So I'm just carefully removing the last of the bubble wrap. Oh yeah, that thing just looks so clean and so good right now. Let's see about getting this leg out of here. Okay, and there it is. I'll bring you guys over to check it out. Get this bubble wrap out of here. Okay. Okay, let's get this off. All right, so there were a couple of issues that the guy alerted me. David Zakowski's his name up there. And one thing, there's a 45 hub, 45 record player hub that goes on these units. And the problem was this was actually frozen into the bay. The original one was frozen into there, and as a result, you had to pry it out and then find another unit. The other thing was the problem was it didn't track correctly. But you can see down here that Voice of Music actually branded the Motorola name onto the record player, and they would have done that for Magnavox and others. They were just a huge supplier of record players, because if you're in the audio business, it doesn't mean that you have to be a record player builder too. So did a really nice job. I'll take the rubber platen, put that on now. And although this unit was built in 1960, the actual record player unit is a 1958 production. I'm going to need two hands to do this. Hi, Mr. G. Nice to see you. Hopefully we're going to have a record player working today. Okay, so let me put this. Okay, the platen's down there beautifully. Really nice. Everything's secured. He's got the needle properly mounted, the cartridge holder, he's polished everything up really well. I really like the job he did, and he did a job to really try to get everything as good as it could be on here. And you can really see this was the days when they really used beautiful nickel chrome finishes. Everything's metal here. There's no plastic on this unit. The only plastic is the 45 spindle here, and that now floats real well. You can see that bounces in there, and everything else is metal on here. So these were the days when you had really good American craftsmanship making really great products here, and he polished that up really well and did a beautiful job. So what do you guys think about that, huh? Pretty good? Pretty darn good he did. So I'm going to check the bottom, lift it up and take a look, and it's all really cleaned up. I'm going to remove this 45. This thing's a pain in the ass. Just sit that on the side. He's also got a cap that covers that too for shipping. Hi, Fun Finder. I don't have a shop in Baltimore, Mr. Tube 88. I left Baltimore years ago. So, and let's see how old Mr. Tube 88. account is anyway. There we go. Let's see. All right, there we go. Yes, I haven't been in Baltimore for years, so let's get this thing back up. So I want to go ahead and now get this installed over there. So I'm going to turn this TV around so you guys can watch. Hi, Fun Finder. I'm going to go ahead and turn this carefully around now so that you guys can watch. We're going to go ahead and do the install, and then if that works out well, we're going to do the go ahead and do the finish too and get that done. So I need to sort of prep things here and make sure this is all good. Like I said in the first one, I also went ahead and purchased an extra stereo cartridge too, because these are rare and I wanted to have a backup for that. So even before he recommended it, I decided to get one too. I don't know if this is going to reach over here or not. That's why you're now looking down into the record player bay. It's going to look upside down for you guys. But there's the bay. I want to go ahead and get a soft cloth. Yeah, when I put my that's right, Les. When I put my Nike hat on, brother, that means business. I want to go ahead and get all of this dust out of here. It's all cleaned up good. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop the unit in carefully here. Try to hook it up and hope for the best. There still could be a problem on the amplifier side with the unit, but if that's the case, I'm going to go ahead and work on the removing that water stain. Anyway, so I'll now take the unit and let's see if I can drop this in. There's a very special way that these units go. Here they have little feet that fold down, guide tabs here. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to try to hit the first tab, and well, I'm lucky I got that first time right on there, right into the bay. Pretty good. Yeah, I enjoy working hard in life, that's for sure. So there she sits. I'm going to go ahead and grab the 45 spindle. Drop that in too. I'm really lucky he was able to locate one of these originals. Here, drop that in, and that floats really well here. So I'm going to go to the back now and try to get this hooked up from behind. I'm going to put my light here, my work light. Let's see if I can get this clipped on somewhere. There we go. And I'll put this back over here so you guys can watch. Try to go to the back. I really got my fingers crossed. It's I'd say about a 60% chance this thing's gonna fly here. You can see all our water laid in case of earthquake and stuff. So I'm going to come behind now and hook up the power. Hook up the power to the unit now. Let's see. It'll be nice if this thing works, man. Wouldn't that be a trip to have this thing with the fully working record player? And let's go ahead. I'm going to use this light a second. This record player has dual inputs, one for each channel, so I have to make sure I have it phased properly when it's plugged in. We've got a left and a right side here. Plug that into the bottom of the unit. Okay. All right, that's in position. All right, that should be okay. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. If this doesn't go, it'll mean I need a little more work to do on the amp side of the unit. But I will get moving on the on doing the stain, getting rid of this water stain, hopefully. So let's go ahead. I think it's hooked up. I think we got power here. So let's put the power onto the unit. We've got one of these promotional records that they used when stereo was very new in the 1960s. People had to be sold on the idea of stereo. They were used to high fidelity. And stereo was something totally new. Picking up a lot of stations here. All right, let's see now. We've got the now this may be the tape and the other one may be reversed here. I've got dual inputs to the amplifier, and it could be on the it could be ass backwards. So I'm going to go ahead now. Okay. Go ahead now and grab this RCA Victor. And let's see if we get anything out of the unit at all. Like I say, it might be the auxiliary might be in the slot where the LP, where the record player is supposed to go. But we'll give it a shot. Right, so let's see. I can hear it's kind of scratching around there. I'm going to go ahead and try switching bays underneath the inputs here. Let's see what we get on this unit. Go ahead and reverse some of the wiring down here. That could be an issue. All right, well, obviously, I think we're going to need a little more work on that, too. Let me try something else here. Let's see if this thing will work on an auxiliary input here. Let me try this. Okay. Give me a second. Don't give up the shit yet. Let's see if we're getting anything by. Okay, well, it doesn't look like that's going to be gone today. All right. And thus we continue our streak of being a total pain in the ass here. Well, the mechanical's working, and I feel fairly certain if given a little bit of time, I'll be able to straighten out and get some audio. So what I want to do now, so I'm not wasting time today, because I don't have a lot of time these days in the shop. We've got the water stain issue to deal with here. And let's give a little discussion on that right now. Yeah, I lost some weight, as you guys can see here on the top, and I'll get that, next time I'll make sure when the hangout starts that the record player is functioning. Let me get a little light on this subject here. I'd like to be able to get this finish restored. As you can see there, we've got a pretty bad water stain with an exterior stain on the outside of it. So I would like to be able to get that cleaned off. In addition, there's some paint problems over here. So what I'm going to try, and let me explain a little bit about the theory of stains on wood when it comes to water stains. What's actually happening down here is that when you put a hot beverage or something on a piece of furniture that's not been sealed properly, the problem is that that heat actually draws moisture from the wood below, and it brings it up to the surface, and that's what creates the white ringing. It's actually moisture that's trapped underneath of the finish. It can't get out. So you can use, people have suggested things like mayonnaise. Some people have suggested mayonnaise and vinegar. There's a lot of different things that people try, but the thing that seems to work the best, very fine 0000 steel wool here. And what you need to do is lightly break that surface and go down enough with the with your steel wool pad so that you release the moisture that's underneath there, and yet you still preserve a lot of the finish that's on top. So that's exactly what I want to do today. I'm going to put the gloves on. I'm going to put a little bit of this Restorer finish on in a little bit of a cup here, and go ahead and apply that, and we'll see how well that works out. I'll go ahead and get a stand to put this on here. Put that on there. Maybe you'll be able to see as we work on that water ring on there, that might be able to remove that. And I'm going to grab a couple rags too. Make sure I have a few of them around. Put the gloves on, and then what I'll do, if I can get this water stain out, I'll go ahead and overcoat the whole top of the. I'll go ahead and overcoat the whole top of the unit. Rub it down a little with steel wool so it sort of feathers that finish in. So, okay. Yeah, the cartridge has been, it's been all reconnected. Thank you. Yeah, I'll have to get in there and see recheck. There's so many wires that have been disconnected and stuff. I just don't want to waste time on the live hangout. I want to get something accomplished, and then the very last one will be the record player will be working, and we'll have a little bit of a listening experience, which will be good. So I'm going to go ahead, and I can hear the record player, the needle is working fine and everything, and just one of the inputs. You bet your butt I'll get it going. So probably be after Las Vegas, but she'll be a go. But I'm actually more concerned with this finish because I don't want to refinish the whole top here on this unit. Hello, Helen. Nice to see you. I don't want to go ahead and refinish the whole unit if I can avoid it there. So I'm going to shake this stuff up really well, and you can see some of the marks that I have in there. This is a pretty bad one right here, and I have the walnut flavor of the Restore finish, and we're going to try to just break the surface enough to release the moisture that's down there without ruining everything. And I'm trying to get you guys in a good position so you can see me work on that. Make that up real good. Hey, Krista. Go ahead and try this. All right. Let's get out a little piece of steel wool here now. And then for a top finish on this, I will use polyurethane, satin. You don't want to use gloss or semi-gloss. You want a satin. This is really fine. This is really fine wool here. So I'm going to see if I can rub that out. I've got a lot of other, you can see some of the other hairline. You might be able to see them. I'm not sure. Some of the other hairline scratches in here that I'd like to get removed. So this unit really took a beating at this kid's house. So all right, let's go ahead and get a little on our steel wool pad here, and we'll give it a try. We'll see if we can actually we'll start with that one stain there. Let's go real lightly. My worst fear is breaking this, reducing this finish down to bare wood, and then I've got a serious problem. So, wow, look at that. Oh, wow, remember that first little series of stains that was on here? It's virtually gone now. So let me isn't that beautiful? Then I can come along and just overcoat the top, and then we'll finish this with a spray of polyurethane. Boy, that just did a magnificent job of releasing that. That first stain is just gone. Just gone. So it really pays to do your research. So now I'm going to see if we're going to attack this principal stain on here now to see what a job this can do on that. And this will be the real acid test of this to see how well this works down here. So let's go ahead and get the pad. And I just always start really lightly because I just want to sort of feather it into the surrounding area. And it's enough to just break the finish and start to release that moisture. And it looks like so far that's doing a pretty good job on trick is not being aggressive with this stuff, just really taking your time. This is actually putting walnut color in as it's removing the stain. So let's see how we did for our first pass. Leave some of the staining down on this end here so far. All right, I think you'd agree that's looking better. So let's step up the game a little bit here. Trying to keep you guys positioned so it doesn't fall off the table. And happy hump day to everybody too, by the way. Now, I'm now applying a little more pressure to the stain, but I'm also continuing to feather out the area because I don't want an obvious different coloration on here. And I'm just going to slowly keep working this. Always working with the grain. And I think it's just starting to work through a layer of the top finish. Let's take a look at that. Starting to get a little better, starting to get a little lighter on there. You can still see the footprint on it, but it's gradually starting to remove that out. So I'm going to keep going on that. It's happy hump day. Yeah, this will be difficult inside. You're right. You're right, Ivan. Very difficult in here to relieve this. One because it seems to have had some type of chemical. But I feel like it's making progress in there. If I am starting to work down to the wood and it's returning color with the stain and restorer all in one here. And I'm just being a little more aggressive as I go through there. And I think it's already lightening more and more as I'm going along here. I'm pretty pleased. So I think if I go at this a little longer, and I notice I haven't done anything to puncture through to the wood yet. I think that's a real key here. This is one of these jobs. It's not going to be immediate. It's going to take time. All right, little by little. Now let's drop back and take another look now. And actually, to me, it looks like this is starting to sort of fade into oblivion now. If you look at that, that was a horrendous stain. And I think that's already come a long way here in terms of removing. It's also damp down in there now. So about propping this thing up. Here we go. One thing you have to have in restoration work, you have to have a lot of patience. Very fine steel wool. And it's almost just starting to pass into the sort of acceptable range right now of not being terribly noticeable. So I'm now going to go out and start feathering more to the surrounding area now. Yep, it's working. I expected this to work because I used to do restoration as a hobby on junk furniture. They didn't have furniture restorer, but they're using old Englishes or something that has a little bit of minwax stains, kind of accomplishes the same thing. Okay, now that's actually started to really remove that now. So now I want to take and start to work this whole panel here now, so it has some uniformity to it. I want to kind of keep that edge clean. I'll be overcoating everything at the end and then polyurethaning it. Now that's got a lot of extra moisture down on that where that stain location was, and I think when that dries, that'll come up to a lighter sort of color on there. And I wouldn't even think about the overcoating that until this really had a chance to dry in this area right here, because I think it's actually slightly gone into the wood down there, and as such, as it dries, of course, it'll lighten. So I don't want to overdo. And you can see that's gradually really, I feel quite sure now, you cannot see the distinctive really ring of what was sitting there now. You only see what's really damp in there from some of that finish penetrating down to the maybe down to just the top of the wood level there. So what I want to do now is probably let that set for a little while and see how evenly that dries. But the one good thing, already this front stain has been totally removed off of here, and this will be a good way to give a great finish to the whole unit, to overcoat it and then hit it with some polyurethane. Over here on this side, there was a little damage that you can see down here, and I want to just take the steel wool very carefully and get one. kind of rub into that area too, so that that raw wood absorbs some color. So it much more hides that that defect. And of course, when that dries, that'll lighten up in there some too. So for a first pass at refinishing, I think I'm pretty happy here. Like I say, I want to avoid sanding the whole top, so I'm going to wait till this is dry and see how much this lightens to the surrounding surface on there. I have a feeling that's going to lighten a lot once that dries. You can already see some drying areas sort of in the middle there. So all right, I'm going to take a little more time, and while that's drying, I'm going to try messing around a little more. See what's going with the see what's going on with the input here for the record player. We'll let that dry a little bit. But I think that's very impressive. And when I overcoat and put the polyurethane on there, I think that's going to do a great job. And compared to what I came into with this unit, it's already like night and day here. So let's spend a little more time before I end the hangout today. Let's spend a little bit of time mucking around a little more with the record player unit here. Okay. Let's see. Let me see. Let me read the side chat here. We've got. Let's see. Teddy says, "Does the radiogram have twin cone speakers, or does it 2 or 3-way speakers?" Do you mean this unit here, the Motorola? This has a left channel speaker system here. You can see that it has a mid-range, it has a horn, and it has its own woofer. It has the same thing on the right side, but what makes this the greatest stereo console ever built was it has a dedicated bass channel. So you really have 3 channels, okay? Left channel, right channel, and a dedicated bass channel with a 15-inch woofer in here. 15-inch, huge thing. And that is actually an independent channel that gives incredible sound. So yeah, I'm really happy as this is drying. This is getting lighter. This is really starting to lighten on the top here. So when it comes time to overcoat, everything should be a very good match around it. Is that stain that I drove in there starts to dry out. You're going to see how nice that is, and it'll give me another crack to go back at the stain. It's something that's going to require. Hi, David. Nice to see you. It's going to be something that's going to require probably multiple treatments. It's going to be time consuming, as anything is in restoration work. So one more shot here at the just a couple minutes to diddle around underneath here with the record player, because some things have been switched around on this tuner and amp controller, and that concerns me a little bit. Let's see if the FM's working good. Always takes a while for the tubes to warm up. There's no such thing as instant on. All right, so I'm going to go underneath and try putting this to, let's try putting this to, let's try putting this to LP and actually putting the record player on. All right, I'm going to go back under here a little bit, guys, and see if I can diddle around a little bit. See what we get. See what we get over under here. Right now, we got a lot of stuff still disconnected back here. In fact, the record player is not even. And the power's on. Oh boy. All right. Let's try auxiliary here. You're still not getting any of that. I hope the record player part of the amp is okay. I just assumed that that was okay here. All right. Oop. Might help to plug our amp in. Let me turn the power off for a minute. Let's see what we get with that. Let me turn that down and let's plug the record player in. Okay, if we don't get anything here, we're going to have to assume we have a problem with the amp. Don't say what. All right, well, that's going to take some more time. That'll be the last, that'll have to be the last step now. I'm going to continue working on the finish here. I'm going to go ahead and end the hangout. It's been about an hour. I'm now satisfied. Let me just give a wrap up here. No, I'm fine, Teddy. I'm so used to working with voltages. As this, I'm really happy about this. This is really coming out good. It's not unusual. I didn't expect the record player to, I said it's about a 60% chance it would work. I think there's still some amp work that needs to be done on that unit, but that's pretty cut and dry stuff compared to having a working record player, which we have right now, which I'm very excited about here. So I'm going to keep working on this a little bit today, and I will see you guys at 4 o'clock on the West Coast for the regular hangout. I may have some news at that time about the amp, so probably the very next hangout we do will be the very last one on this unit. So I want to thank you guys for being along. And of course, I will keep you updated on the progress of stain removal and other things. If worst case scenario, just remove the tuner, remove the record player, and just sand and refinish the top here. I really don't want to do that, but if I have to, I can certainly do that. Anyway, you guys, thanks so much for being along for a very short hangout. I got a few things to do before I go on tonight's the 8-hour. The full ride is MX420, Kid says, this evening. So I will see you guys then. Okay, you guys have a great day.